Developing news from D.C. tonight. Just days after a last-minute vote to keep the government open, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy is now facing an effort to push him out of his leadership position.
And we're tracking light showers tonight, clearing up, however, and we're looking at a beautiful first week of October. I'm tracking all of that in your First Alert weather forecast.
And we're taking an in-depth look at some of the new resources here in the Tri-Cities for people fighting addiction.
This is Apple Valley News Now Prime Time, on your side.
A Tri-Cities man who turned his life around from drug addiction and gang life is now inspiring others to do the same. Thanks for joining us. I'm Alyssa Warner. Victory Homes International has just finished building a rehabilitation center in Pasco, and the grand opening was a celebration. Apple Valley News Now's Anna Trejo sat down with the house director.
If you don't think drug addiction in our communities is a serious problem or a problem that doesn't affect you, you're not paying attention. Addiction can affect people of all ages and backgrounds. It can affect people who come from close-knit families and those who are alone. It can also make a person feel ashamed and embarrassed, which can stop them from asking for help. A new Tri-Cities rehabilitation home is hoping to reach people and their families and tell them they don't have to be ashamed or alone.
I was a meth addict. I was just an ex-gang member.
Tim Rodriguez is the director of the new Victory Home in Pasco. He has a perspective on recovery and rehabilitation that not many people understand. He struggled with drug addiction and knows what people who are suffering go through.
And when I came into Victory Outreach Tri-Cities, there was already a director running the home, and I seen what was taking place and how he was running the home, and I was like, that's something that I wanted to do when I got somewhere deeper in my relationship with God and my recovery.
After finishing the program, Rodriguez wanted to get involved to help others who are struggling just like he did, and show them there is hope to take back their lives and get on the path to recovery. The center offers individual counseling, support groups, and drug diversion programs, as well as parenting help. This program is for people who are in need of intensive inpatient program, and the programming is mapped out in separate phases for men and women. Rodriguez says the program centers around building strong Christian values and lays the foundation for people to be able to succeed on their own once the program's finished.
We offer housing, we offer job readiness, we have transitional housing. So when the guys come through the program and they finish the program, we get them into a discipleship home.
While the organization has homes around the world, the grand opening of the Pasco location, fitting for a celebration.
A little about the Victory Home. We've been around since 1967. We have over 300 recovery homes around the world. We've been here in Tri-Cities since 2007. Just yesterday, we celebrated 16 years.
16 years of offering hope and healing to our communities. Reporting in Pasco, Anna Trejo, Apple Valley News Now.
Now, if you'd like more information about how to get in touch with Victory Homes International, you can visit our website, applevalleynewsnow.com, and click on this story. Now let's talk about your forecast. It's been kind of rainy, blustery out there today. Stacey Lee has a look at what to expect for the rest of your week.
That's right. We've been tracking these showers. They finally arrived this evening and continue to fall tonight, and those showers eventually moving off to the east. We could see some rain continuing into the Walla Walla area by early morning, but overall this band of showers should be out of here by midday tomorrow in Walla Walla. Here's what it looks like. That was our setup. That's the system that's moving across the state. And as you can see, it's moving well to the east, even bringing some snow to Wyoming, parts of Idaho, and Montana. So pretty good system there. Again, mostly some light rain showers in our region. Right now, Dust Devil Sky Cam, 62 degrees. It feels like 62. It's a little on the cool side. Winds are at 11 miles an hour, and our sunset tonight was at 6:35. And again, there's that radar showing you what's going on. So get ready for clearing showers, breezy to gusty winds. We'll see those again tomorrow afternoon. Sunny with a gradual warm up as we head through our first week of October, but it's going to be really nice leading into the weekend. I'll get to all the details in your First Alert full weather forecast. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. The Toppenish Police Department is investigating a fatal shooting that happened on Sunday on the 200 block of South Division Street just before 1 in the afternoon. Authorities say officers responded to reports of a shooting, and when they got to the scene, they found a 28-year-old Toppenish man had been shot. Now, he later died of his injuries. The suspect hasn't been identified so far. Police are asking for information. If you know anything about the case that might help them, you can call the number on your screen. That's 509-865-1629. U.S. Army officials are working to determine what may have caused a military helicopter to crash into power lines alongside the Columbia River in Grant County on Friday. They say the aircraft involved in the crash was an Apache helicopter assigned to 4-6 Air Cavalry Squadron 16th Combat Aviation Brigade, and that it crashed during a routine training exercise. While no one was injured, the incident did cause a small wildfire and downed power lines, led to a section of State Route 243 being shut for several hours. The Grant County Sheriff's Office says dealing with those downed power lines was their priority.
Power lines in the river, we had power lines over a state highway, and we had plenty of hazards to deal with for very quickly in a small amount of time, and everyone did their jobs, and it turned out good.
Now, it's still unclear at this point what caused that crash, but Army officials say they are investigating. Call it a mutiny on Capitol Hill. Florida Representative Matt Gaetz has officially launched an effort to kick Representative Kevin McCarthy out of the House Speaker's chair. This is a showdown that's been brewing for days. The government is still open. Congress passed a continuing resolution. President Biden signed it on Saturday night, shortly before the government was due to shut down. Now, House Speaker Kevin McCarthy made the unusual move of getting enough Democratic support to overwhelm opposition from his own party to that continuing resolution. His decision kept the government open by moving the budget deadline to mid-November, but it has also fueled political backlash against McCarthy.
It is becoming increasingly clear who the Speaker of the House already works for, and it's not the Republican conference. We need to rebuild trust, and so I think we need someone who can connect the most conservative features of our conference to the most moderate features of our conference.
Now, earlier today, McCarthy told reporters he's not concerned about efforts to remove him as House Speaker. That's before this evening's vote. He said at the time he's only focused on getting the budget finished by the new deadline. One of the big sticking points in that budget battle has been how much money the United States sends to Ukraine versus how much we spend on border security. The continuing resolution that kept the government open does not include funding for either of those things. Former President Donald Trump appeared in a New York courtroom today for a civil trial. The state of New York is accusing Trump and his sons of fraud. Prosecutors presented court documents saying that in 2017, Trump told Forbes his tower penthouse was 33,000 square feet, 3 times the size reported in 2004, and overvaluing between $114 to $207 million. New York's Attorney General says that overinflating happened across Trump company financial reports for a decade, resulting in better business terms that have led to 7 claims against Trump and others.
No matter how powerful you are, no matter how much money you think you may have, no one is above the law.
Banks loved our business, they loved our deals, they weren't defrauded, they lost no money, they made money, they had the finest attorneys.
So last week, the judge overseeing this case ruled on the first claim, saying that the president is liable for fraud. Now, the New York Attorney General is asking the court for a ban on the Trumps serving as business officers in the state of New York and a ban on their company from doing business for 5 years. The judge in this civil trial estimates the trial will take less than 3 months to complete, and Trump is expected to be called to testify. Tonight, we're tracking developing news of another strike, this one impacting healthcare. Tens of thousands of Kaiser Permanente workers outside of Washington are planning to walk off the job on Wednesday. So union workers in Oregon, California, Colorado, Virginia, and Washington, D.C. are all planning to take part in the strike after their contract ended Saturday. They're asking for increased pay, job protections, and solutions to fix labor shortages. Now again, Kaiser Permanente Washington employees are not planning to strike. The Writers Guild of America members are now voting on a proposed deal that ended their strike, which lasted all summer. While that voting is going on, writers are allowed to return to work, which means you'll be seeing new episodes of your favorite late night shows, starting with Jimmy Kimmel tonight. Don't look for new dramas anytime soon, though. The Actors Guild still on strike right now. And so are the United Auto Workers. No sign of progress today after union leaders opted to expand the strike at auto manufacturing plants on Friday. Workers are calling for a shorter week, pensions, and more pay. Tonight we're talking about a change in the weather, and I think you're going to like it. I know I certainly do. Stacey Lee has all of the details coming up in your First Alert forecast. Plus, we're introducing you to a local teen who says he got bored with the way things tasted, and that idea created a new business to spice things up. And a missing child who disappeared on a family camping trip is now safe. We'll talk about how rescuers finally found her, coming up on this special edition of Apple Valley News Now.
Carl's Jr.'s new Big Char Chili Burger is big on charbroiled flavor, big on smoky sweet heat with a whole charred Anaheim chili, and big on savings with a Big Char Chili Combo for just $7.99.
Spicy chicken McNuggets, breaded in tempura and made with cayenne, are just the right amount of fire emoji, chili emoji, grinning face with sweat emoji, and wouldn't it be double fire emoji if they came back? Spicy chicken McNuggets, they're back. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
The savings continue with Bi-Mart's latest savings book. See why over 1 million membership families save more at Bi-Mart. It's packed with 16 pages of store-wide savings, including sporting goods, Halloween candy and decor, and must-have pantry essentials. Bi-Mart's one-time $5 membership unlocks a lifetime of savings, and our employee owners are here to serve you. Save now with our latest savings book at Bi-Mart, your Northwest employee-owned membership store.
For real? Missing kickoff? Not on my watch. Ultima's fuel efficient VC turbo engine hustles like an MVP. Game on.
Drive the Nissan Altima. Get a low $329 per month lease on Altima or get 0% financing for 36 months on the Altima SR-VC Turbo.
Did you see this? It says most people are going to need long-term care that health insurance and Medicare won't cover.
I saw that, and it got me thinking, if I need to pay for home modifications or in-home care, I am not prepared. Are you?
Not really. I mean, whatever happens, I just want to know that I'll be able to get care and stay in my own home as I age.
Right? I want that too. So,
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Affordable? Yeah, we got that. Stylish? Got that covered too. Quality? You can bet on it. At Furniture Row, we stock furniture that's value priced, built to last, and looks fabulous. And during the epic fall sale, everything is on sale. Like the Cascade sofa for only $3.99, the Champagne Dining Group only $4.99, the Redondo bed now just $2.99, and the Summit Queen for only $332.49. Plus 4 years, no interest. Shop the largest selection at the lowest prices guaranteed. The epic fall sale, on now at Furniture Row.
If something's missing in your morning without a McDonald's breakfast, then try a new bagel sandwich. With fluffy egg, melty cheese, and your choice of a steak patty with grilled onion, or bacon, or sausage, well, those will fill the void deliciously. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba.
Carl's Jr.'s new Big Char Chili Burger is big on charbroiled flavor, big on smoky sweet heat with a whole charred Anaheim chili, and big on savings with a Big Char Chili Combo for just $7.99.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Welcome back. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and this morning, officials at Cadillac Regional Medical Center raised a flag featuring a pink ribbon in recognition of that. According to the CDC, more than 240,000 people are diagnosed with breast cancer in the United States every year. Chaplaincy Healthcare is shutting down the last of its boutiques in the Tri-Cities, but there is still a chance to get some last-minute deals. Tri-Cities Chaplaincy has closed its Pasco and Kennewick repeat boutique locations, but the Richland Uptown location is still open. Now, money from the boutique supports services to hospice patients and their families, and the boutique offers a selection of gently used clothes, jewelry, furniture, antiques, and much more. CEO Lori Jackson says the organization is refocusing on its hospice care right now.
Could we meet our scope of work by using just the Richland store? Would it be able to supplement the financial deficit of the hospice house? And it turned out it hasn't been able to. And all told, in the last 5 years, we've lost nearly $200,000 from the thrift stores.
Now, the boutique is no longer accepting donations from the community. The organization says your last day to get deals is coming up November 17th. Most teens spent their time at the Central Washington State Fair riding rides, playing games, and eating fair food. But Apple Valley News Now's Emily Goodell tells us one young entrepreneur spent his time spicing things up.
You guys want to try a sample?
For 17-year-old Lucio Heredia, it all started 8 months ago in his grandmother's kitchen.
This was never what I envisioned for my spice. I just started making it because I was 1, bored, 2, hungry, and 3, bored of the way things tasted. It took me about 4 or 5 attempts to get it to where I liked it. I do have one ingredient that I cannot share. Trade secret.
Then one day his grandma found it in the cupboard.
She started hounding me to make her more spice. I kind of just brushed it off, but then she dragged me to like a convention. So I just kind of had to sit there and sell it, and it kind of went well.
Now the high school senior owns his own business, LJ's Authentic Seasoning.
Oh, yeah, of course. At first it was a little overwhelming because I'm not good with people, so I'm not good with rejection either, so just being a salesperson like really isn't my thing. For you, brother, $4. Appreciate that, bro. Thank you. You, of course. Have a good one. But I'm working at it, and I think I'm getting better at it.
300 containers of LJ's Authentic Seasoning, original and spicy, sold since July, and more used at home.
I do like cooking. I did it a lot with my mother when I was young, and it just really imprinted on me, especially ever since she passed away when I was young. It brings me great satisfaction when someone eats something that I make and they just love it. You know, it's a great feeling.
One he hopes to develop in culinary school after he graduates high school next year.
I don't know if I want to become a chef, but I just want to know how to cook really well. You guys want to try some? I think it's cool to be on the news, but I don't know. It's just I don't think that I really did anything deserving of to be on the news.
But his grandmother, Mary Garcia, does.
He doesn't believe in himself, but I believe in him. I truly do.
She's been raising Lucio and his brother since their mother died suddenly almost 7 years ago.
He's very humble. He always has been. So I'm his biggest cheerleader. I cheer him on and I encourage them. You know, you can do anything you want to do as long as you put your mind to it.
Lucio selling his seasoning at local events and through Instagram and Facebook with local delivery. But he hopes to see it soon in stores.
I feel like to anybody who wants to do something like this, if they have someone who supports them greatly like I do with my grandma, just talk about it and see where it goes. I feel like you can really do anything with the right people behind you.
And a whole future in front of you. In Yakima, Emily Goodell, Apple Valley News Now.
Now, if you missed the Central Washington State Fair, you can get a hold of LJ's Authentic Seasoning by messaging him on Facebook or Instagram. They do deliveries locally on Fridays. And it's time to strike up the band for the 41st annual Cavalcade of Bands competition. 21 high school marching bands in our area will be performing their shows they've been working on since mid-August.
Turn to lock, push, one.
Anyone who has done marching band will tell you that your life from middle of August to the last day in October is only marching band. The amount of joy that you see from our own students who are working shifts, and then they get to meet other kids from the area. They get to watch really cool groups perform. It always centers me back and reminds me this is why I love music.
Now, the Cavalcade of Bands is coming up this Saturday, October 7th from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. at Lamson Stadium in Kennewick. Entry for the competition is only $20, and you don't have to stay for the entire day. You can come and go as you please. The Playground of Dreams is going under construction again. This morning, Kennewick Parks and Rec closed a small portion of the playground for upgrades to make the park more accessible for everyone in the community. They say it should only be closed for about a month, and there's no word on the exact changes they're making. We're working on getting some more of those details. To stay up to date on the construction, you can go to our website, applevalleynewsnow.com, for more information. And October is underway. That means millions of Americans will have to start paying down federal student loan debt that's been on hold for years now. ABC's Tim Pulliam talked to borrowers about how they're planning to make ends meet.
This month, roughly 28 million Americans will have to start repaying their student loans that were paused 8 times over 3 years during the COVID-19 pandemic. According to the Federal Reserve, the monthly payment for the average borrower will range between $200 and $300. For Sarah Wood from Denver, the pause on her monthly $440 payment allowed her to save for her twin daughter's education. Her student debt totals more than $180,000. Now, with payments restarting, she'll cut household spending and saving for her twins' college education.
It's just a tightening of the belt across all areas. You need to live in a house, you need to pay groceries, you need to eat, and then from there on, you kind of have to figure out where to skimp and save.
Michael Lopez from Anaheim, California, a first-gen college grad with a master's in social work, was able to buy a home when payments were halted. With the pause lifted, the 33-year-old has to resume paying off more than $240,000 in student debt.
It makes it a moving target when we're trying to adjust our habits, in the face of paying these payments and having a kid. It's like, not only do you have to figure out all of that, but now you need to do it while the cost of everything's fluctuating so much.
After the Supreme Court rejected President Biden's first attempt at canceling up to $20,000 in student loan debt, his administration launched a smaller plan. Biden directed the Education Department to establish a 1-year grace period for borrowers who miss payments and rolled out a new plan called SAVE that could lower some people's payments depending on their monthly income. You can go to studentaid.gov to calculate your bills under that plan.
The Biden administration is also looking into a new potential student debt relief policy that focuses on people who are the hardest hit financially. The Education Department is meeting with a committee next week to discuss policy ideas, but the plan is still months away from being finalized. Tim Pulliam, ABC News, Los Angeles.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Stacy Lee.
And we'll start out tonight with our Legends Casino Skycam, Columbia Point in Richland. We see the lights, of course, nice and dark out there this evening. 62 degrees. Again, we've had showers falling, and they're going to continue to fall till about 11 or 12 o'clock tonight. Our humidity at 70%, our winds at 11 miles per hour, sunset at 6:35. Those days are getting shorter. All right, there is the big massive rain coming over. It's been kind of hanging out on the west side all day, eventually made its way over the Cascades and into our region. Just starting to move into Walla Walla and Dayton and south into Hermiston and Pendleton. But again, we'll see the end of that coming here in the next couple of hours. But we've been tracking those showers all day. This is the system we were dealing with today. Again, coming across, moving into central Oregon, eastern Washington, and eventually into Idaho. Now, all of that will move on out over the next 2 days into tomorrow. And again, check it out. We've got snow falling in places like Montana, Idaho, and Wyoming. So getting that winter started in October. Here's what things are looking like on Futurecast. Let's time things out again. There's those widespread showers tonight. Around 11, we'll still continue to see those showers, but eventually making their way to the east towards Walla Walla. And by tomorrow morning, we might have a little bit of an overcast start, especially in Walla Walla and Tri-Cities. Should be nice and sunny for you in Yakima, and then the day will gradually clear up, and then things are going to change, get really, really nice as we move through the week. So nice look on our Futurecast. Again, nice weather on the way, ridge of high pressure starting to build. We've had those breezy and gusty winds this evening, again, as that system is moving through the area. Tomorrow, winds will be much lighter to start your day, a little breezy in the Pendleton area. As we move through the day on Tuesday, tomorrow afternoon, you'll see those gusty winds once again in the Yakima, Kittitas Valley, and the Columbia River Gorge. Lighter winds in the Columbia Basin and the foothills of the Blues. Let's get into our Wednesday morning, and again, we'll once again see those winds whip up in the Yakima and Kittitas Valley, down the Hanford Reach and the foothills of the Blue Mountains there in Dayton. Wednesday night, much lighter winds around the region, eventually dying down. Let's take a look at our temperature trend. Excited to show you this. Our average at 74 degrees. Check it out. We're going to see beautiful temperatures moving through the week, eventually topping out on Sunday above average at 76. That's Tri-Cities. Look at Yakima. 72 is the average there. We're going to see above average temperatures, a few degrees all week long with beautiful sunny skies. And again, enjoy those warm temps while they are here. Now, temperatures overnight tonight, again on the cool side, 40s for most of our area. Cle Elum at 44, Yakima 48, as well as Sunnyside. In the 50s for the Columbia Basin, Connell at 48 tonight. Foothills of the Blues, 40s and 50s there as well. Tomorrow's daytime highs again getting much closer to our average in the 60s here in the foothills of the Blues, 70s Columbia Basin as well as the Yakima Valley, Kittitas Valley staying in the 60s. Let's plan your day tomorrow. Again, might see a few clouds in the morning. It's going to be clearer in Yakima, but a nice day overall. Tri-Cities, those clouds will start to move out by midday. It's going to be a beautiful sunny day. And in Walla Walla, those overcast skies will hang around a little bit longer and a little bit cooler there as well. Here's your short-term forecast moving towards the weekend. Look at these 70s, sunny skies, going to be nice and dry. Same thing, Tri-Cities, 75 by Thursday with pure sunshine. And then in Walla Walla, again, 60s and 70s. We'll get to more, including your reason to smile. That's coming up here in just a few minutes. Alyssa?
Thanks, Stacey. Police say a 9-year-old girl who vanished during a family camping trip in upstate New York over the weekend was found safe and in good health today. That after a massive 2-day search ended with her rescued and one person arrested suspected of kidnapping her. So the child disappeared while riding her bike early Saturday morning at Burro Lake State Park in upstate New York. Hundreds of people joined in the search. Today, police searched multiple residents, all linked to one suspect who investigators believed had been in the area around the time the girl went missing. New York Governor Kathy Hochul told reporters investigators were able to identify fingerprints from a ransom note. Now, the suspect has not been identified by authorities, but investigators say they are planning to release more information tomorrow. Up next on Apple Valley News Now, as the Supreme Court is being asked to consider the response to homelessness on a national level, we're talking about a lawsuit in Portland fighting efforts to limit camping there.
Welcome to Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. How may I help you?
I want some of that amazing cheese bread.
I want chicken wing. I want pizza and breadsticks, please.
You'll love Tony's Big Cheese Pizza in the plaza at 24 and Nob Hill.
A really fun golf course.
All the holes are pretty challenging.
Surrounded by Oregon farms.
The course is lined by old growth trees.
Fly the Northwest over the golf course at Birch Creek.
And then, of course, you have the creek.
Apple Valley News Now at 6 Tuesday.
With friends, there are no secrets.
Chandler entered a Vanilla Ice look-alike contest and won. Ross came in fourth and cried.
The best way to end your day. Friends, tonight at 11:05 on Apple Valley News Now.
Welcome to the Village Bistro. We're happy you're here. I wanted to share with you some of the things we have on our menu. One of my favorite things is our lemon ricotta pancakes, topped with blueberries and powdered sugar and butter. And oh my, they are so delicious. You gotta try our 4-cheese mac and cheese or burgers. Some say they're the best in town. We love to get to know each customer that comes in, and we want you to feel like family when you're with us.
Real ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025. When flying, you've got options. Now's the time to make sure you're covered. No judgment, we all procrastinate. But now you have time to get things done. Replacing that smoke detector battery, dusting off that treadmill, returning those 7 emails. It's time to take on those things you've been putting off and turn your to-do list into a checkmark party. If you're planning to fly after May 7th, 2025, you'll need one of these approved options. Time flies, and so should you. What are you waiting for?
It's the ultimate ladies' night out at Twig's Bistro and Martini Bar, as Apple Valley News Now hosts the official Golden Bachelor watch party each Thursday night. Get awesome food and drinks, plus win great prizes as we all watch Tri-City's own Faith Martin compete for the Golden Bachelor.
I'm Gary. I'm your first Golden Bachelor.
The official Golden Bachelor watch party, Thursday nights at Twig's Bistro and Martini Bar in Columbia Center. From Twig's Bistro and Martini Bar, Active for Life, and Apple Valley News Now.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, West Richland, and Hermiston. Every location is conveniently located. And now, Smoke City for Less Hermiston has relocated to North 1st Street by AutoZone. An easy turnoff, $3.95, and you are there. For the lowest prices and largest selection of vape mods, the best batteries, tobacco products, Kratom, and specialty products too. Open 7 days a week, 5 locations, Kennewick, Richland, Pasco, West Richland, and the new location in Hermiston, off $3.95. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Welcome to Tony's Big Cheese Pizza. How may I help you?
A large Mexicana pizza, please.
Every pizza is made fresh from scratch daily using our family dough and sauce recipe.
You'll love Tony's Big Cheese Pizza in the plaza at 24 and Nob Hill.
We are tracking developing news tonight. Police say they're investigating a mass overdose that happened in Portland's Pearl District this morning, just a couple of blocks from Powell's Books. Officers say they found 8 people who had overdosed, and they suspect fentanyl is to blame. First responders did manage to revive those 8 people, but 4 of them had to be taken to the hospital. Now, earlier this year, Portland banned camping during daylight hours and banned camping entirely in certain areas. It was part of a directive from the Oregon State Legislature for cities to set up their own restrictions. Well, now a group is suing on behalf of the homeless population, saying Portland's new rules aren't fair and could end up costing taxpayers a lot more if it means that more people end up in the legal system.
The thing is you're unhoused, you don't have maybe you have a cell phone. How do you contact this person? If they don't know where to go or they lose their citation, they don't show up at court, then they end up in jail.
One of the single greatest barriers to housing access in our community is having a criminal record. So the notion that a policy that is aimed at addressing our homeless crisis by criminalizing behavior over which people have very little choice in many cases is really counterproductive.
Now, city officials say they're focused on making sure that people know about the new rules and say they're planning to give people 2 weeks notice before they start enforcing that camping ban. The Supreme Court returned to work today, and homelessness could be one of the big issues on the docket. Federal courts ruled years ago cities could not punish people for sleeping in public places unless there are more than enough shelter beds available. Well, Natalie Grant reports many cities are now saying that's a policy that just doesn't work.
Spokane has now joined over a dozen cities across the U.S., ranging from Seattle to Milwaukee and more, asking the Supreme Court to overturn the rulings of Martin v. Boise and Johnson v. Grants Pass.
We have to remove limitations on our ability to address the homeless crisis as cities.
In a Friday press conference, Mayor Nadine Woodward saying these rulings limit the city's ability to keep their communities safe.
Something needs to be done. Local jurisdictions need to have more control about how we address homelessness. And we are right now having to spend more of our resources than we really want on those night-by-night emergency low-barrier shelters. We need to be able to invest in other resources that we know move people out of homelessness.
If you're going to tell people where they can't be, you need to tell them where they can be. And we don't have a place where they can be. This will not help and make anything better.
On the other side, local homeless advocate Julie Garcia saying this is another way of making homelessness illegal in the city. And in the end, more affordable housing is needed to fix the issue.
It's cruel and unusual punishment to punish somebody because they don't have a place to sleep tonight, or because they don't have food, or they can't afford a home, because the same people that are sitting at the same shelters are still there. They're not exiting because we don't have housing.
That was Natalie Grant reporting. Now, homelessness is not the only big issue that the Supreme Court is being asked to consider this term. Here's a look at some of the other big updates that we're watching for.
After expanding gun rights last year, the Supreme Court will have to determine if people facing a domestic violence restraining order should be banned from having guns. An appeals court says the Founding Fathers would never have stopped people from having guns based on domestic abuse. The Justice Department has also asked the Supreme Court to weigh in on access to the abortion pill, although it's not clear yet if the court will take up that case. Later this week, the justices will hear arguments in a case where a hotel chain sued a woman for suing them over a lack of disability accommodation information on their website. While the woman said the information should have been there, per the Americans with Disabilities Act, the hotel chain is suing, saying she never intended to visit their hotel in the first place. There's also a possibility this term that the Supreme Court could adopt a formal ethics code for the justices.
And we're one step closer to a recall of hundreds of thousands of relatively new Ford trucks and SUVs. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration said this morning it's now upgrading its investigation to an engineering analysis. They're looking at reports of catastrophic engine failure that can mean you lose power under normal driving conditions. They're looking at potentially defective valves being a possible problem. The NHTSA started its investigation in May of last year. Since then, Ford says it's gotten more than 800 notices, although the company says it hasn't gotten any reports of crashes or injuries. So the investigation covers Ford's F-150, the Explorer, the Bronco, and the Edge, plus the Lincoln Nautilus and the Lincoln Aviator. All the vehicles are from 2021 or 2022. They have a 2.7-liter or 3-liter V6 turbocharged engines. Now, Ford says the problem, if it's going to happen, usually comes up pretty early in the life of the car. So they believe that all the vehicles that were going to fail have already done so. Seattle-based Redfin is tracking movement in the search for a lower cost of living. We're talking about what that means for Washington coming up, but first, Stacey Lee has your reason to smile.
And today's photo of the day comes to us from Christy Myers, a beautiful photo out in Walla Walla, the Bennington Lake area with the sun coming through the clouds. Thank you, Christy. Certainly a reason to smile. And your reason to smile is sponsored by West Richland Family Dental and Prime Dental in Pasco. To have your photo featured, all you need to do is snap a photo and send it to me, S. Lee, at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Portions of Apple Valley News Now, sponsored by Lord's Health and Trios Health, making communities healthier.
Leading the way and hitting our mark for 30 years. Your locally owned and operated Arrow Construction Supply.
Save now with Bi-Mart's latest membership savings book, posted at bimart.com. There's 16 pages of great store-wide savings, including everything you need for Halloween and more. At Bi-Mart, our members save more every day.
For real?
Missing kickoff? Not on my watch. Ultimate's fuel-efficient VC turbo engine hustles like an MVP. Game on.
Drive the Nissan Altima. Get a low $329 per month lease on Altima or get 0% financing for 36 months on the Altima SR-VC Turbo.
Honey, that was my brother. Can we bring him dinner tomorrow? He's been having a hard time since his accident.
Of course. I know it's been tough. There's so many costs that his insurance doesn't even cover.
I know. The ramp to his front door, transportation, meal preparation. What if something happens to one of us?
We should plan to sit down soon. We can look through the long-term care benefits that we're earning with WA Cares.
Find out how the WA Cares Fund can help.
Real ID requirements for travel go into effect on May 7th, 2025. When flying, you've got options. Now's the time to make sure you're covered. No judgment, we all procrastinate. But now you have time to get things done. Replacing that smoke detector battery, dusting off that treadmill, returning those 7 emails. It's time to take on those things you've been putting off and turn your to-do list into a checkmark party. If you're planning to fly after May 7th, 2025, you'll need one of these approved options. Time flies, and so should you. What are you waiting for?
Have you heard? Tempur-Pedic sleep is better sleep. With innovative memory foam developed by NASA, Tempur-Pedic mattresses reduce motion transfer, which means less tossing and turning so you can sleep undisturbed through the night. But which Tempur-Pedic is right for you? Come to Denver Mattress and test for yourself. Or get a $300 gift when you purchase any qualifying Tempur-Pedic. And rest easy knowing it's backed by our 365-night better sleep guarantee. Shop Denver Mattress today, your Tempur-Pedic elite retailer.
With every load secured, every cigarette butt that doesn't go out the window, every fast food bag that arrives at its proper destination, and every time we politely say, hey, there's a better place for that, Washington gets a little cleaner, a little safer, a little more breathtaking. Because small choices add up to a home we can all be proud of. We keep Washington litter-free.
Join me Thursday at Twig's Bistro and Martini Bar for our Golden Bachelor watch party. Awesome food and drinks, great giveaways, and Tri-City's own Faith Martin competing for the Golden Bachelor.
From Twig's Bistro and Martini Bar, Active for Life, and Apple Valley News Now.
Leading the way and hitting our mark for 30 years. Your locally owned and operated Arrow Construction Supply.
The National Association of Realtors says pending home sales dropped last month with high interest rates, the highest they've been in decades. In Eastern Washington, though, we might not be as impacted by that trend, and here's why. Redfin says Seattle is one of the major cities where people are moving out. They're actually tied with Denver for the number 9 spot on Redfin's top 10 list of cities that people are looking to leave. Redfin says those who are staying in Washington state are typically looking to move to Spokane. No surprise, cost of living is a big factor in that decision.
And I know a lot of people have moved to the outskirts of Seattle because of that. And I've even heard of people, moving towards the east side, like Easton and Ellensburg and stuff, because it's more affordable and commuting, which is crazy to me.
Now, while Seattle does make the top 10 list for people wanting to leave, Redfin says the number 1 city that people are fleeing is San Francisco. And those looking to move out of San Francisco and leave California, Redfin says their top search is Seattle. All right, it is Fat Bear Week 2023. This is something that's been going on at Alaska's Katmai National Park and Preserve for almost a decade now. It's a bracket like you're probably familiar with from certain sports tournaments. This one, though, based entirely on the appearance of the bears that are getting ready for hibernation. They've been stuffing themselves all summer. Bigger is better at this time of the year, and you can see the difference from the spring pictures to now. So if you want to participate, you can fill out a bracket right now, and then voting starts Thursday at fatbearweek.org. I love that they have made this a competition. Of course, it's all in fun. There's no prizes other than bragging rights, but hey, it's a good way to maybe spend a rainy evening, and that is what we're seeing right now. Stacey Lee has a final look at your forecast.
I feel like the big bear right now. Hopefully I'll be that skinny bear by spring. We'll see, right? All right, we're tracking scattered showers all through the area, and those rain showers continue to fall pretty light. We're not going to see a big accumulation of rain, but it is kind of nice cooling things down and getting everything wet and ready for fall. Our first week of October officially here. Here's the system we've been tracking. Again, you can see that jet's going way to the south, and again, that allowed this moisture to move on through Columbia Basin, moving off to the east, and even going to see some snow developing again across parts of Idaho, Wyoming, and Montana. But that jet will shoot all that moisture down, and then we've got a ridge of high pressure building up that's going to keep us clear and warm for the next couple days. Our Legends Casino Skycam Columbia Point, 61 degrees right now. Winds have decreased down to 6 miles per hour, and our humidity at 78%. Let's take a look at temperatures for tonight around the area. Again, gradual clearing. Could see a little bit of clouds hanging out in the morning. 40s and 50s for our overnight lows tonight. 52 Tri-Cities, 40s there in the Yakima Kittitas Valley. Let's take a look at our planner for tomorrow. Again, you're probably going to want to grab a coat as we'll see some cooler temperatures there. And then here's what your 7-day planning forecast looks like. We'll get to more in your First Alert